old days when Europeans still took walking tours. A walking tour is when you hike with a backpack and sleeping bag and you walk through the beautiful country scenery and explore the back roads and the back woodsy sections of an area where most people don't go, staying along the way in cheap youth hostels or with friendly and hospitable local farmers. In the summer of 1913, a young man of 20 arrived in France for just such a walking tour.
Well, here is Provence. I'll just get this backpack on and then I'm off to search out the peace and quiet and beauty of this beautiful French countryside. It's strange, but there seems to be quite a difference in the appearance of the countryside here in the south than there was when I first started up in the north. The land looks so barren and desolate. There's hardly any trees or undergrowth to be seen anywhere. And I've hardly seen any wildlife. For some reason, this whole area of the countryside has been abandoned. All the villages I've been through have been deserted. It's really getting dark. I need to find somewhere to stay for the night. But all the houses are broken down and deserted. Guess I'll have to sleep on the ground tonight. Wait, is that possible? On that hill it looks like a small cottage with a... Yes, it has a light in the window.
Who's there?
I'm sorry to disturb you, sir, but I'm hiking through this part of the country and I'm trying to find a place where I might stop for the night. Could you tell me how much further it is to the nearest town or village?
Oh, it's a good few miles yonder, I'm afraid. Most people moved out of these parts, you see.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you're welcome to stop here the night if you care to.
Oh, thank you very much. I'd be really grateful.
Well, come in. Sit yourself down. Make yourself comfortable. There's bread and cheese if you'd like some, and a good drop of homemade wine in the bottle.
Thank you very much.
Make yourself at home, lad. Make yourself at home. Excuse me if I carry on with my work.
Yes.
Chestnut, hazelnut, hazelnut, chestnut. See that one? That's an acorn. Acorn. That's a bad one. Throw that one out. That's a beauty. Look at that. Hazelnut, chestnut.
Excuse me?
Yeah?
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorting out this bag of different type of nuts that I've collected, see?
Yes.
Separating the good ones from the bad ones. Good ones, I'll put in this sack over here. Then I'll take them out with me in the morning when I take my sheep out to pasture. Chestnut, hazelnut. Not a bad one, throw that one out. Chestnut. Right. Good morning, young man.
Good morning.
Well, if you excuse me, I'll be taking my sheep out to pasture now. Make yourself at home.
Excuse me, sir, but I was wondering if you would mind if I accompanied you today as you took your sheep out to pasture.
Oh, why, yes, young man, I would be most happy to have your company. One, two, three, four. There she goes. One, two, three, four. And another one.
Excuse me?
One, two, three.
Excuse me?
Four.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? That's obvious what I'm doing. I'm planting trees.
Planting trees?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, you see, lad, this land you see around here used to be very fertile land in these parts. But over the years, people cut down all the trees. Now, when you don't have trees, you don't have anything to hold the moisture and the soil together. With no trees to protect the land from the sun, then there's no undergrowth.
Oh, I see.
Now, if you got no undergrowth, then the animals and the wildlife leave because they have no protection. They have no place to hide.
Oh.
And so, this land, it dried up. And then the rains came and washed the good soil away, and with no good soil for farming, the people left. And now, me and my sheep, we're the only folks left in these parts. These trees I'm planting, God willing, will change all that and restore life to this valley.
Yes, but it will be years before they ever get to where they can do you any good. I mean, if you don't mind me saying so, you might not even live long enough to see them grow.
Aye, lad, that's true. But someday they'll do somebody some good, and they'll help to restore this dry land. I may never live to see it, but my children will. One seed here, one seed there. We'll soon see trees popping up everywhere. One seed here, one seed there. We'll soon see a forest where once it was bare.
The young man marveled at this old shepherd's foresight and vision and unselfishness, that he was willing to prepare the land for future generations, though he might not ever see the results or reap the benefits himself. Many times over the years, he thought about the old shepherd and wondered if he was still alive and whether he was still sorting and planting nuts. 20 years later, now in his 40s, the man again visited the same area of the south of France.
This is amazing. The valley is covered with a beautiful natural forest. All kinds of trees. The grass is so green. The shrubbery and bushes and wildlife. And farmers have moved back and they're cultivating the land and growing crops again. The soil, it's moist and fertile. It seems like this whole area has come back to life. I wonder whatever happened to the old shepherd. Could he possibly be alive after all these years? He must be in his 70s now. Oh, there's his little cottage.
Hello? Hello? Who's there?
I don't know if you remember me, but I stayed with you about 20 years ago when I was hiking in this area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, nice to see you again after such a long time. Come in. Sit yourself down.
Thank you. Sir, I must say I'm amazed at the change in the countryside. Those nuts you planted have completely reforested the whole area with beautiful young trees.
That's right, yes, that's right.
I mean, 20 years ago, this area was a barren waste. And now there's not only trees, but beautiful lush grass, shrubbery, wildlife. I even noticed that the villagers have moved back into their houses.
That's right.
And this is all because of you planting those seeds.
Well, I'm just one man, an old shepherd. But day by day, I do what I can do to help change the world.
Yes, you can change your part of the world. Maybe sometimes you think, well, who am I? What can I do? And it looks like there's nothing you can do to change the world. But think of the old humble shepherd who day after day for years did what he could to change his part of the world. So if sometimes you're discouraged with the world and the way it is, don't give up. Because if you have changed even one single life, maybe your life, you have changed part of the world, and you have proven that there is hope, that the whole world can be changed. Start today. Change your life. Change your family. Change your neighborhood. Change the world. In Change the World, the young man was played by Jeremy and the old shepherd by Simon Peter. The music was by Jeremiah Russell. The play was scripted by Simon Peter and produced by John Hart. Change the World was brought to you by Music with Meaning. Only pioneers climb mountains, people who want to do something that no one ever did before. Pioneers must have vision to see what no one else can see. Faith to believe things no one else believes. Initiative to be the first one to try it. Courage, the guts to see it through. You never hear about the people who wait to see if it can be done, the fancy tourists down on the fancy ski slope somewhere. You just hear about the people who either made it or tried. Beaten paths are for beaten men, but mountain peaks are for the mighty pioneers. Long after the valley is in darkness, you can still see the sun. The mountain is windy and cold but thrilling. You really have to have the feeling that it's really worth dying for. Any mountain, the mountain of this life, the mountain of accomplishment, the mountain of obstacles, of difficulty, if you're going to climb them, they have to be worth dying for, to brave wind and storm, symbolic of adversities. You take the mountain, and you'll leave
the multitude behind.
The following story is typical of hundreds of medically documented cases of people who have experienced life after death. Get inside, Jane. I'll drive you home.
Thank you, John. That was a nice evening.
Well, I'm glad you had a nice time.
It's so nice to see so many old friends.
Yes, well, I hope we didn't leave too early, but, well, tomorrow's another day.
Hey, John, watch out for that crazy driver over there!
Oh, no, there's nothing I can do.
John, are you okay? John?
Yes, I'm okay, Jane. Are you okay?
John, please answer me. Can you hear me?
Jane, I'm fine. I'm talking to you. Why can't you hear me?
John, oh, John.
Somebody call an ambulance.
You all right, lady?
Call an ambulance.
Yes, I'm fine.
Miracle you're still alive after an accident like that. But what about your friend?
I think he's badly hurt.
We'd better call for an ambulance, quick.
No need to call the ambulance. I'm feeling fine. Funny, though. But I can hear this strange ringing and buzzing in my ears. Jane, what's happening? It's my body. I'm looking at my body. And it's all messed up in the wreckage of the car.
Excuse me, mind the way, please.
Is he going to be okay?
Oh, madam, let me just have a look. I'm sorry, madam. It's too late.
Oh, my God. I'm dead. The first thing I felt after the crash was the ringing and buzzing in my ears. Then, the floating feeling of detachment from my body. I felt weightless, like an astronaut in space, an almost inexpressible feeling of freedom and exhilaration. Next, I remember watching the people trying to get my body out of the wreck. But I felt no pain, only a wonderful feeling of peace and joy and perfect contentment. Then, for a few moments, I felt the feeling of loneliness and isolation. Until suddenly...
Hello, son.
Mother. Oh, I'm so glad to see you here. I thought I was all alone. But I mean, you're dead. I mean, you look very much alive. You look so young and beautiful.
I just wanted to come and welcome you, son, to put you at ease, and to reassure you that there's nothing to worry about.
Is this a dream?
No, you're really here, and it's actually happening.
Suddenly, I felt a movement, and I began to feel like I was moving very rapidly through a long, dark tunnel. I could see a light at the other end. The light, it's coming closer. Oh, it's so bright and dazzling. And yet it doesn't hurt my eyes. Oh, I feel so much warmth and love coming from the light. It's the most marvelous feeling I've ever had in my whole life. Welcome, John. The light had spoken with me, and yet without words, just in my mind. I could see no form or figure, but I could feel that I was in the presence of a person of great love and understanding.
John, are you really ready to die? Or would you rather go back?
Go back? Go back to what? I want to stay here. I feel so wonderful.
Before you decide, let me show you, John, this review of your entire life.
Congratulations, Miss Jones. You've just given birth to a beautiful baby boy.
The being of light showed me my entire life, from when I was a tiny child right up to the present. Everything I ever did.
That's my toy. No, it's mine. I'm gonna hit you if you don't give me that. Ow!
I saw all the selfish little things I did against my playmates and my brother. And I saw the good things, too.
Here, brother, this is a present for you. Oh, my, thanks. That's what I really wanted. I saved up my pocket money to get it, especially for you.
And by the end, I had the feeling that this review had only lasted a few moments, or perhaps even a split second.
Now, John, are you satisfied with your life?
The review was very fair. I can see that God is letting me be my own judge of what I've accomplished, and it's not much, I'm afraid. If I lived again, I would certainly show more love to others, and of course, I would tell them about all this, that God is real, that there is life after death. And yet, I dread the thought of going back to my earthly body.
Look in front of you, John.
It's a gate and a fence. And beyond, I see beautiful fields and trees and streams and flowers. Oh, I've never even imagined anything so beautiful. It's a city of light, with brilliant, shining buildings. Such a beautiful landscape and colors, everything bathed in a sort of pale, golden light.
The fence and the gate are the line of decision. If you step across the line, then you've passed the point of no return, and there'll be no more going back. The choice is yours.
At this very moment, it would be so easy to cross the line and go and be in that beautiful place forever. But no, I've got to tell the others. I've got to go back. I've got to go back. I've got to go back.
John, he's speaking. He's speaking.
Oh, it's impossible, madam. His heart hasn't been beating for 10 minutes.
Jane, I've been to the most wonderful place.
John! Oh, John, you're alive!
I remember the sound of the crashing car, then a ringing in my ears. Then I felt I was floating, looking back down on my body from the air. I watched as they tried to save my life, as the ground around turned red, till at last they shook their head, saying I was dead. But I felt such a perfect peace and comfort, such a warmth, painless and relaxed, but a little lonely at first. Then all of a sudden I felt I was moving rapidly through the air, to a long, dark, narrow tunnel, the valley of the shadow of death. I was there, headed for the line of decision. Was I ready to die? Was I satisfied what I'd done with my life? At the end of the tunnel there was a light that was very dim at first, but it grew so bright and brilliant, but my eyes it didn't hurt. When I met the being of light, nothing was said that could be heard, and I felt such compassion and love, but in my mind rang these words: you're standing on the line of decision. Are you ready to die? And are you satisfied what you've done with your life? You're standing on the line of decision. Are you ready to die? And are you satisfied what you've done with your life? And as I stood there before I could reply, I watched my whole life unfold before my eyes. And now you know the choice that I made, to come back down to earth and start again. Standing on the line of decision, was I ready to die? Was I satisfied what I'd done with my life? Standing on the line of decision, was I ready to die? Was I satisfied what I'd done with my life? Standing on the line of decision, was I ready to die?
Life after death was based on the testimony of hundreds of people who died and were then allowed to come back. Their common experiences were documented by Dr. R.A. Moody in his best-selling book, Life After Life, as well as many other recent researchers and writers. John was played by Simon Peter, Jane by Phoebe, the ambulance man by Solomon Touchstone, the mother by Joan, the doctor by Peter Pioneer, the children by Koa and Nat Spencer, and the angel of light by Michael Fogarty. The musical effects were composed and arranged by Michael Fogarty, and the song was composed and sung by Paul Michael. The play was produced, scripted, and sound engineered by Simon Peter. Life After Death was brought to you by Music with Meaning.
Put aside your worries for a while. Stop and listen to a song. It may be that you start to sing along, 'cause music is a miracle. Music is a miracle. It makes you want to dance and sing. Music is a miracle. Love and joy we bring. Our songs are like the key of love to unlock your heart. Alleluia. Music is a miracle. Alleluia. Music is a miracle. Some folks say there is no God today. The day of miracles is past.